What's up, everybody? We are back. We are recapping Monday Night Football of December 4th. The Bengals defeated the Jags in overtime 34-31. Jake Browning was great. 32 of 37, 354 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He also had 2 carries for 22 yards and a rushing touchdown. The passing touchdowns weren't really there, but the yards, absolutely. The completion percentage, absolutely. I wouldn't say definitely add Jake Browning because of this. I kind of categorize him in that Gardner Minshew sort of level of streaming quarterback where if he has a good matchup, he's definitely worth streaming. But I want to see another game of this before I go and say that Jake Browning is this great game manager, because that's what he did in this game. He did an amazing job of managing the game. Very Brock Purdy-esque, these numbers here. Maybe a little more touchdowns would have been similar to Brock Purdy, but still, this is really good stuff. Keep an eye on him. You can add him because he has a really, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is a better receiving trio than the overwhelming majority of teams in the league. So he definitely has a chance. Keep an eye on him. I'm just hesitant to definitely say he is a must add at this point. Jamar Chase completed a pass for -7, and Tyler Boyd threw an interception. So that is notable. Joe Mixon had 19 carries for 68 yards on 2 touchdowns. He also had 6 catches for 49 yards. Just a monster day. Keep playing Joe Mixon. This is the high end of what he does, but at the same time, he's going to give you a tremendous floor because the Bengals are going to lean on him more without Burrow, and he is the clear workhorse in this backfield. Chase Brown had a bunch of carries, 9 carries for 61 yards, but this is Joe Mixon's backfield. We saw Chase Brown didn't have any receiving stats whatsoever. So hold off on Chase Brown. Keep playing Joe Mixon every single week. Tyler Boyd had a carry for 5 yards, and Jake Browning had the 2 for 22 and a rushing touchdown. Jamar Chase, back. We thought for a minute there with Jake Browning, maybe it may not work. or not work, but it may not be just this crazy explosion of points that he would normally have with Joe Burrow. But here we have 11 catches, 149 yards, a touchdown on 12 targets. Just ridiculous stuff. You got to play Jamar Chase every single week no matter what. He's just that type of talent, if nothing else. Tyler Boyd had 5 catches for 37 yards on 7 targets. T. Higgins had 3 catches for 36 yards on 3 targets. I think both of these guys are drops, honestly. I think Jake Browning is going to spam Jamar Chase, and Higgins and Boyd are just going to get whatever's left. So I think you're fine dropping these guys. I got a lot of pushback by saying T. Higgins was a drop today, but I think that's just the state of affairs with Jake Browning. He can have some, Jake Browning is good enough at managing the game where T. Higgins can get you 10 points in certain weeks, but I think that's going to be the high end of what he does this season. Tanner Hudson, 4 catches, 35 yards on 4 targets. That's decent enough tight end stuff. Trent Irwin had the catch for 25. Mitchell Wilcox had a catch for 12. Drew Sample, the tight end, had a catch for 11. And Jake Browning added a catch for -7. For the Jags, Trevor Lawrence was 22 of 29, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 5 carries for 8 yards and a rushing touchdown. This is great, but he has a high ankle sprain, so keep an eye out for updates on him. Maybe he could come back for the fantasy playoffs. We'll just have to watch. Maybe for the very final week of the fantasy playoffs we can expect to have him, but that's kind of wishful thinking based on the timeline of this. This is week 13 already. There's only 5 weeks left in the season, so maybe a week 17 return. We'll just have to watch that with Trevor Lawrence. C.J. Beathard was 9 of 10 for 63 yards, and he also had a carry for 7. He's going to be really similar to Jake Browning because they can both manage the game. I just wouldn't expect huge touchdown and yards numbers quite yet from C.J. Beathard. Jake Browning was able to pull that off in this game, but I just, I don't really expect it to be the norm for Jake Browning. And if C.J. Beathard were to go out there and have a game like this next week, I wouldn't expect that to be the norm for him either. So just kind of pump the brakes on both of these backups real quick. But these are very promising indications for what they can be in the future. Travis Etienne, 11 carries, 45 yards, and a rushing touchdown. He also had 4 catches for 34 yards. This isn't a tremendous rebound that we were hoping for, but we'll absolutely take it. The rushing touchdown helped. The 4 catches helped. Good stuff from Travis Etienne. I still think you got to play him no matter what the matchup is. Calvin Ridley had 3 carries for 7 yards, and Dearness Johnson had 5 for 4. Evan Engram was the leading receiver for the Jags. He had 9 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown on 9 targets. Another guy, a really solid, he's just below Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, middle of the road, top 10 sort of tight end. I think you're in a solid place if you're starting Evan Engram every single week. Zay Jones, 5 catches, 78 yards on 8 targets. With Christian Kirk going down with a core injury, and it sounds like he's going to be out for the season, he had a catch for 26 yards on 1 target before he went down. Zay Jones is a really interesting ad. I think you want to look at him. Parker Washington, also kind of interesting, 6 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Zay Jones is more of an outside receiver, so I'm trying to figure out who's going to be that slot guy to kind of take Christian Kirk's role. Are they going to move Calvin Ridley to the slot a little bit more to get him more involved? We'll just have to watch. We have a lot of no Zay Jones throughout the season, but we haven't had a lot of no Christian Kirk. So keep an eye out for who's going to really take up that slot work. It may just be Evan Engram. Because look at the output that he had in this game. He could very well pick up the slot work there. So keep an eye out on Engram in that regard. Parker Washington, also keep an eye on him. 6 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown on 6 targets. Really good stuff from him. Keep an eye out on him. See if his role starts to develop with no Christian Kirk. Luke Farrell had a catch for 9. Dearness Johnson had a catch for 5. And Tim Jones did not haul in his only target. So that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Follow at We Are Drafting on Instagram. We have the Week 14 ads and the Week 14 drops already up, so check it out. I will see you over there, and thank you again for watching.